Hey, good afternoon. This is Stan Scrabbit from Jamestown Community College. Today I will be presenting on badging and how it could possibly affect Jamestown Community College. Now, this presentation was originally created for our Faculty Development Day. However, due to some lake effect snow, the day was canceled. But as I say, the show must go on. So let's get on with the show. So this presentation is Twitter friendly. So you can find me at JCC D as in Delta, TEI for Technology Enhanced Instruction. So if there's anything that you wish to share, please do so. So the question of badging. That imagine that we are, and we may not imagine here in a second, that we are at a community college that is suffering from lower than normal enrollment. And this is happening all over the state, all over the nation. We're just not graduating enough high school students. And the ones that are coming in, we want to make sure that we retain them as much as possible. So that is why, as educators, you're trying to figure out how to engage them, how to retain them, how to keep them going in the system. Students, on the other hand, are looking for a way to complete their degree, a way to get some added value, a way to ensure that they are ready for the workforce in the career that they're pursuing. As educators, right, you're looking for them to achieve their lifetime goals. You're trying to get them to be lifetime learners. And so badging can play a way into this. So this idea of micro-credentialing and badging is a way to help student retention and engagement, and probably more on the engagement side of things. That we can recognize incremental achievement, but it's something that they can package together and present in a unique way to potential employers. So here is a video. In an ideal world, you'll be able to hear it.
Learning today happens anywhere and everywhere. It happens in a variety of environments, different social contexts, and in a multitude of media. We can no longer think of learning in one way. Our education system faces great challenges in engaging students, keeping pace with technological change, teaching 21st century skills, and creating meaningful assessments of our learning. How do we recognize and value the way we learn today? What if we used badges? What is a badge? A badge is an online representation of a skill or achievement you've earned. They've been used in gaming and online spaces to motivate behavior, recognize achievement, and establish credibility. What if we used badges for learning? Badges could be created and issued by anyone: schools, online spaces, cultural and civic institutions, community and professional organizations, to represent a limitless set of skills, achievements, and knowledge. Badges could be earned by anyone completing programs or projects or demonstrating specific knowledge, skills, and abilities. Badges could be shared on websites or blogs, social media profiles, online portfolios, and resumes, leading to real opportunities like connecting with potential collaborators, earning skill credit, or getting a job. Mozilla's Open Badges infrastructure provides the software and open technical standard for everyone to earn, issue, and display badges across various contexts, ensuring that everyone gets recognition for the learning that happens anywhere and shares it in the places that matter. So what do badges mean for learning? Badges let us see that learning goes beyond classrooms. Skills like creativity and collaboration and passionate interests become as important as subjects like math and science. Badges show our learning as more than a collection of test scores and grades, but as learning pathways rich with detail and information. This allows learners to guide their own learning, teachers to better engage students, and employers to find the unique talents and skill sets they need. Badges cultivate social and connected learning, where learning happens through sharing. They let learning be recognized and transferred across different spaces and learning environments. Badges make learning more adaptable to change and open to innovation. And most importantly, badges make learning a lifelong pursuit. By letting us recognize the learning that happens anywhere and share it in the places that matter, badges cultivate values of openness, sharing, and innovation in learning today.
So, as we can see, badges have been used in business and gaming to recognize achievement, to increase engagement. This is an example of Foursquare, where badges were handed out to investigate new places and recognize, for fun, different places that you would go, whether it's airports, as in far, far away, or the Jet Setter badge. And so similar things can be done on campus. So first of all, what is a badge? The video talked about a badge, and I'm not sure yet if you're able to see that video, but if not, I'll put it into the show notes and you'll be able to check it out there. So a badge is something that's issued by an individual organization. It could be a program, it could be just for a specific class, but it recognizes either experience, achievement, or competency, or just participation in something. The nice thing is badges can recognize prior learning. Because they're issued by an institution, you can dig down into a badge and see what institution it's from, what individuals got credit for specifically for that badge, and you can build upon that. But we can recognize this across the life cycle. And badges also can expire, so they may require not remedial training, but recurring training throughout the life of that badge. So for example, CPR qualification or first aid qualification would be an example. Nice thing about badges is they can be stacked. So if I was, say, having someone pursue a line of instruction dealing with social media, we can teach them about Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and Pinterest and Instagram and all these different tools. And if they went out and pursued each of these badges and collected a series of badges for each one of those disciplines, we could stack it into a larger badge talking about them being a social media expert, for example, which may then lead into other things. For example, that may be a course requirement that they have to get so many master badges for that particular course. And that course could roll up into a certificate, and a number of certificates could roll into a degree program. So you can start at a very foundational level and move your way up. How do they work? So a badge is issued by an institution or a person for completing certain requirements. So on this particular badge, this one happens to come from SUNY, that the issuer is SUNY, and it's for the Center of Online Teaching Excellence. The badge is recognition of being a SUNY fellow, somebody who's interested in online enabled education. And here is a description of the badge. And then furthermore, you can drill down in that the criteria and evidence to see what was specifically learned or what was the specific criteria for earning that badge and when it was issued. This badge is tied to the institution, to the criteria that the individual earned it under, and to the individual, that somebody else who happened to get the badge could not collect the badge because there is not that three-point connection. The way that you would issue a badge is through, say, a program like Credly or Blackboard to hand out that particular badge. And so this is an example of Credly. a couple of the badges there, 5 certificates or 10 certificates from lynda.com. And that's to encourage participation in our lynda.com program. Or our recent one is a digital learning day that individuals participated in that day. They went out and learned about a new technology and were subsequently awarded that badge. So, but you would create this badge, and then you would give that badge to an individual, and therefore it would tie their name to it. And what it's called is baking the badge. So it ties all that information together. When the individual receives a badge, they would typically receive it in an email, and they could then store that badge into what's called a backpack. And basically it's a portfolio that allows you to collect these badges. This happens to be my badge collection. And you can see there's badges from the 3D Game Lab that I participated in. There's also a couple badges from a Moodle course that I participated in. And another course talking about badges, that I had participated in a MOOC that issued badges. So this is kind of the collection of my portfolio. With that, individuals can then provide, say, public access to one, all, or some of their badges, and they may package them together in a certain way to provide a potential employer a look at what they have done and give an employer an opportunity to drill down and see what criteria that they have completed in order to get that badge. So right now we do resumes, but a resume, if I say I know a particular skill, you're taking my word on it until I prove otherwise. However, if somebody is displaying a badge, here you have an institution saying that the individual has completed the criteria, and more specifically, you're outlining the criteria for that particular badge. And then I can go ahead and display those. Why would you consider using badges? So badges are a mix of both informal and formal learning, that you're pulling everything together into one place and showing learning across multiple disciplines and across multiple programs, whether it was things that you learned at work, things that you learned at school, things that you learned in the community, are kind of melded together. And with badges, you may recognize, say, prior learning. So badges, as I said, come from a variety of sources put together. And I'm getting a call, which is silly. Okay, so badges can recognize. Sorry about that, folks. Hello, it's Stan. Hi, I'm in a meeting right now, so I'll call you back. Bye. So badges can recognize prior learning and demonstrate evidence across your lifetime. So somebody can start earning badges, maybe while they're in high school, and continue to add badges while they're going through a community college, and then move to the university level and add badges, or possibly from their work life, add badges, or as a participant in the community, badges. And they could be lifelong learners, continually to look out for opportunities to learn across their life cycle. As I noted, badges serve as a digital transcript. It's a portfolio that is readily accessible. You have it digitally, and you can kind of shape that depending on what job you're looking for or what opportunities that, maybe it's for a volunteer organization, and you show your badge portfolio on the capabilities of photography or social media. or, your bookkeeping. So a lot of different ways that you can do that. And once again, the individual looking at it could drill down and specifically see what's there. Great way of supporting adult learners, right? Recognizing all the different ways that they learn, and recognizing that with a badge that the individual knows this particular skill or has this particular knowledge or experience that you want to share. The other thing about badges is they can provide a pathway. So you can map this out that individuals have to achieve, say, 5 out of 8 badges to earn this master badge. And, multiple disciplines, but they can see a progression on what badges they need to achieve in order to continue building if you provide that such a pathway. It could be in the sciences where you're talking about lab safety, that they go out, they have to watch some videos, they have to take some exams, you may give them a practical evaluation, but at the end, you recognize that they are safe in the lab. So you can award a badge for that, and that is something that they can take with them or from one course to another. Instead of going through maybe the same training, unless it's reoccurring, you can say, hey, I've done this training. Here's a badge, recognize that, and allows you to kind of scaffold that learning. Okay. It allows us to recognize skills that are not credentialed right now. So, for example, in like the accounting class, right? They complete the class on accounting. But one of the things that they don't really get credit for is really the piece of software that learning, QuickBooks, for example. But if they get really good at QuickBooks, what, as kind of a value added for that class, issuing a badge that the individual is at a certain level for knowing QuickBooks, and that they can tell that, because you're not going to see that in the course description saying that, specifically we're using QuickBooks, because we're talking really accounting principles. So that's something that's not necessarily recognized, but it's skills that they're picking up. And so this is a way of recognizing those skills. Badges, part of education is scaffolding those learning opportunities so that you kind of build on it, right? So you may have a badge at a certain level. So basic, looking at professional development, basic Blackboard user. Well, I may also have an advanced or an expert Blackboard user as I build and certain criteria for each of those different badges. So that's one way that you can kind of scaffold the learning. Or, beginning photography or what have you, that, there's many opportunities that you can use to kind of build on something previous knowledge. And it's not necessary that you have to teach this. You can set that out as a goal to say, do these things, you can earn this particular badge, and send them off on their own to go pick up those knowledge and skills. And, they demonstrate those skills. Yep, you know it. Here's a badge to recognize that. And this is where this idea of using badges can encourage learners to study a topic in depth, that they are, drilling down in this particular topic, that for the class, you may say, that you give a badge at, a certain level. Okay, they met the objective. But here is an opportunity, if you choose to take it, where you can go work on this piece at a deeper level, and I will give you recognition for that. So it's a way that you can encourage them, that some people chase those opportunities, and here you're providing a way to recognize that. There's all kinds of industries that are unbundling their content. So, and education, it's coming, folks, that there is a move to figure out how to unbundle what we do. And it's just happening. Either we figure out how to leverage it, or somebody else will do it for us. But if you look at music, that at one time you had to buy the record album in order to hear the song, because that was economically the way to get music out, was not just one song, but a lot of songs. But now with iTunes and other Google Play, you can go out and buy specific songs. Look at television. With Netflix and Hulu, you can go and watch a series independent of cable television. Before, you would have to buy a package of 400 channels of none that you would watch except for that one show, and now you can go capture it independently. Magazines, right? The magazine industry, the newspaper industry is hurt because folks want to go out and are going out to capture independent articles and not necessarily have to get the whole magazine. So it's coming to education also. Higher education, community colleges, universities, colleges are not the only places to get knowledge. Right now, I am working on 3 different courses that are providing very specific knowledge that I paid for. Have nothing to do with higher education or in education, but I'm going out and subscribing to those courses. Lynda.com. Lynda.com provides all these wonderful courses. And this is an example of how that, education is kind of being unbundled. For me and a lot of other people, that we have certain needs that we need to ramp up on a particular skill. And unfortunately, maybe the community college system, I'd have to wait 6 months before that class is offered again. And I don't necessarily need the class, but I need to pick up this skill. We may, using badges and micro-credentialing, we may figure out a way to attract and handle students that are there specifically to get a specific skill. When I was going through the University of Maryland University College, they would have weekend courses, and it would be a 1-credit course, but it would be a course on Excel or a course on using PowerPoint or some other tool that was just 1 credit, and you had to complete a couple of these 1-credit courses. Why couldn't we do the same and also tie them back to micro-credentialing and provide that opportunity? Whoops. Local businesses. So here's an example for IBM that have their own training, and they are providing badges around that training or those opportunities, for example, being a speaker. By working with local businesses, finding out what their needs are, perhaps we can create that unique badge or that coveted badge that recognize that skill that the industry recognizes, and that we go ahead and produce and make that tie to business. And students who happen to get that badge may get preferential treatment in hiring because the businesses know and have come to respect that particular badge, and saying that if you have this badge, you know what you're doing. So here's different ways that badges can be used in support of learning. First of all, many organizations are already doing it. A couple in SUNY. So Open SUNY, for example, is issuing badges. SUNY Empire State College is issuing badges. Educause is out there, Madison College, but also other organizations like IBM and Smithsonian. They're giving out badges to recognize learning opportunities, leadership development, but also service recognition. So for example, in Educause, they recognize community service. Are you out there being a presenter, for their various conferences? Are you sitting on various committees, as a committee chair or a member on that committee? Have you received awards? Have you written papers? Have you contributed some way to that organization? And they recognize that through badges. As I mentioned, 3D Game Lab, this was a course that I had taken to learn how to use a specific software, and they used badges to work me through that particular course. So I started at the player level, and then as I worked through this, I learned to build quests and build teams and community, and finally I was recognized as a teacher for that particular program. SUNY is offering badges for participation as a SUNY fellow, for participation in workshops, COAT workshops. That's how SUNY is handing out badges. They've issued 1,400 so far. The Society for Science in Public recognizes various achievements that if you participate in their competitions and fairs, that you will, as being a participant, you get a badge, but also as if you win awards. So one of the things I'm thinking about is Scholars Day. We can encourage students to participate in Scholars Day by just having a participation badge. And for individuals that happen to win a prize, that they could get a special badge indicating or showing that level of recognition. And so that's ways that we could possibly use it here. Here is Purdue University. They have their own badging system, but it's tied into Open Badges. So we'll play this real quick.
This is Passport. It's a new way to think about flexible learning. It's learning management mixed with gaming meets e-portfolio. Students earn badges by completing learning activities presented as a series of challenges. Passport guides students through each task by providing a framework to submit documents, share links, complete quizzes, or gather approvals. Instructors can follow each student's progress and connect badges with course objectives. As badges are collected, they can be shared online as a Mozilla Open Badge or through the mobile portfolio. Take a challenge, show what you know. For more information, please visit purdue.edu/studio.
So as you can see, one of the things that you can do is create this ecosystem that will help map out and also track professional development for participants. That participants can look, just as we have courses, that we have courses mapped out, but now we can break those courses down into here's specific skills that you have. And one of the things is to make sure that if they earn a skill that's the same skill in one course as maybe another course, how can we recognize this and allow for that learning to be recognized in that course so they don't have to do it, that they can work maybe at a more challenging badge, saying, okay, I recognize that you've already have experience in that particular skill set. Now we're going to raise it to the next level and make the opportunity just a little more challenging to get that next badge. Badging allows us to recognize new competencies. So, looking at my office, we are interested in developing a badging ecosystem for all the various technologies that we could use to support a classroom that we would encourage faculty to participate in. And as we bring on new technologies, we can weave those into our digital badging system and, kind of, hey kids, have you collected them all? Encouraging that idea of going out and earning a badge set. But what it does is it helps you develop those skills that you can go back to your class and weave those skills into your class. Participation on committees, professional membership, going out and recognizing individuals who participate as committee chairs, as participants on a committee, or other leadership opportunities to recognize that across the college, and it gives, we can do this as bullets, but this is, you can, make this visual, make this, kind of out in the open in the public. Badges can reflect ongoing programs of professional learning that enable teachers to grow through and with practice in their specific subjects. So even within your discipline, you can build out a framework that's unique to your specific discipline, that as we hire on new faculty, or we're looking to take current faculty and grow them into another level, badges can help identify that and say, okay, if you're interested in earning this particular badge, here is the criteria, here are the things that you do, and maybe working with a department chair or a dean, they say, okay, you've met this criteria, this will help move you up. And that could end up being useful for ways to advance an individual through the system. The thing about badges is it makes you relook at your course, right? So now you're breaking things down even in a little more finite, kind of at the atom level, looking for opportunities to recognize new skills, new knowledge points that maybe previously were unreported. I use the example of QuickBooks, and I honestly don't know if QuickBooks is specifically recognized in the catalog. I should have probably looked. But, here's an opportunity that somebody knows how to use QuickBooks for accounts receivable and knows how to use QuickBooks for accounts payable, knows how to use QuickBooks for processing taxes. Those kind of things, you can break it down to those specific levels and recognize that. So they would earn these various badges, and once they've earned the whole set that you've defined, that they are a QuickBooks, expert or whatever. That's, you have to define that. Ways of using badges in the classroom in college. One is having these projects or skill sets that you want a student to go learn, right? So rather than take time to learn them in a classroom, is sending students out on their own to explore and learn a particular project. And once they've demonstrated proficiency, you can recognize that with a badge, rather than sucking up class time to do this, that you create these opportunities for them to go self-explore and recognize that. This also allows students to control their education even more so. Right now we have students that come in, they decide what courses, what program that they're in, what degree that they're pursuing. We can take it down to a finite level, that each student very independently could have a different badge array because of participation, maybe on student senate, or they belong to this club, they're the leader of that club. They've taken these field trips that various programs have supported. variety of different things, and it would be interesting because some of these things you can measure how many individuals got those particular badges, that we can keep track of those things. And finally, participation. Well, I don't even know if it's finally, but also participation with badges. All those different activities, ways of encouraging, participation. That, I remember, you would get a T-shirt, or you would get, even a cloth badge that you would sew onto your backpack or something. This is no different. But it's digital and, very easy to administrate, to hand out, and basically somebody noticed. And also, it just adds that additional level of value added to your course. I'm going to use the accounting one again. Maybe it's written in the description that they're going to learn specifically QuickBooks. But if QuickBooks is not recognized, if it's not part of that description, by giving a badge for that, saying individual has been, it has skill in using QuickBooks, that is something they can walk away with. That's value added to that course and that degree completion. And they may walk out with an array of different skills that are recognized that would not normally be shown on their diploma, saying that they are, a business major. Okay, I show you a transcript. I took accounting and I took, business law and business ethics. But I can now drill down one level further and to say, I am skilled at using QuickBooks. Right? I can write a policy, a business policy, that I've learned that particular skill. So those things can be added to a course. At this point, I would ask questions, but let me go see if there, in fact, are any questions. And are there any questions out there? No questions. So anyways, we didn't have an opportunity to connect live in the faculty development days, and I was so excited to do that. But second best is we can do it virtually. So thanks for watching, and I hope you picked up something. If you have questions, shoot me an email or give me a call. Say hello. Bye for now.